guys, this is Kelly. I am back with another process video. This layout is for Cocoa Daisy using their Early Sunset September 2017 kit. This is actually either the third or the fourth layout that I have made with the kit, although this is my first process video, so I'm a little out of order, but that's okay. I am taking some of I've pulled pattern papers that I haven't used yet. Plus, I've pulled several of my scraps just to see what I can use on this layout. I know that there is one project life card that I want to use, and I am going to try to find a creative way to use that. So I'm just trying to figure out what I want to do on my background. I love this tan and white paper that I've got my cardstock on, and you know, while I'm thinking about it, I already knew that with this project life card I did not want to use it as a project life card. I am going to take a tag and just outline the tag and cut it out. So this is a simple way to, you know, creatively stretch your day in the life or project life cards and make it look like a different embellishment. So I love doing things like this. So as I'm doing this, I'm trying to figure out what I want to do for the background, and I decided that I wanted to play with some mist. So there's a piece of cardstock that I had previously gessoed for another page and then just did not use it. So that's why you don't see me using the gesso on this, but there's definitely gesso. You can see how the edges are curled up a little bit. So I'm taking some of the shimmers mist that I have, and I'm going to make my own background. I will show you the colors that I use in just a minute because I have not been using my mist lately, and I definitely wanted to do that, so I will show you in the end the colors that I end up using. So with the shimmers, you have to roll them and not shake them, so I was rolling them to see what, you know, the colors had kind of not like, I guess, settled at the bottom some. So when you, especially with the ones that have shimmer, so you have to roll them so you can see exactly what true color it's going to be. So my best friend when I am making my background is definitely a paper towel, because I don't want this layout to be really dark, and I wanted a little bit of that dark blue since my photo has some dark blue. So there are the two mists that I used, along with the gold Heidi Swap Color Shine. So as I was saying, I definitely like to blot it up a little bit because I don't want it too dark, but I wanted to pull in a little bit of the dark because my photo has some of the darker skeins of yarn. So this photo is of a recent yarn purchase. A local store had a 50% off sale for 1 hour, and I went and I got several beautiful skeins of yarn. As you can tell, most of them are blue. There's one white. I have a friend that is going to have a baby soon, so I wanted to make her a sweet baby hat. So that's what that white one is for. So I am going to take this piece of cardstock. It came with the kit. It's because this is my third or fourth layout, I'm pretty sure that I'm not going to be using this cardstock. So I'm just going to use it to back my white cardstock that has warped a little bit, and this helps to even it out. A piece of cardboard also works, but I didn't have that, and this just worked fine for me. I tend to not use dark colors of cardstock just because it's just my style. So at this point, I'm trying to figure out exactly what I want to do with the page. I knew that I wanted to use that tag, and I have pulled that day in the life card with the fox. Oh my gosh, this little fox is so, so cute that I know that I want to get him worked onto the page. So since I've done all this mixed media, I don't really want to cover it up. So I decided to take that tan and white gingham paper and just do a thin strip for a header and a footer on the page. This just helps to contain the page, and I love the whimsy that it gives. You know, the yarn is in a basket, and this kind of brings out some of the tones that are in the basket. Plus, it just gives that home feel, and to me, knitting is definitely something that I associate with home, and it's just a craft with your hands. It's a little bit different, and I thought that this kit was perfect for it. So I've decided that I want to use this card in two ways on the page. First, I want to cut the little fox out and use him as an embellishment. And then second, I want to take the card and put it behind my photo. The addition of that dark blue is just striking, I think. It's in a small enough amount to where it's not overwhelming on the page. And it's also going to just help pull in the fox as I finish fussy cutting him out. I am going to leave just the slightest little dark blue border around him. I felt like that would help pull in the dark blue of the card and just give him a definite border. So I decided to not bring in that rust colored card. I was thinking originally of doing that to help bring in the color of the fox and just to bring more warmth to the page, but I felt like I didn't need it. The fox, even though the reds are a little bit different, it matches the Project Life card that I'm using with the little teacups, and I feel like that the blues definitely work well with the browns work well with the browns in the basket, even though they're not the same. So you don't always have to have the same colors represented if you have some of the same tones or the same, or different shades that all bring it together. So I've decided that I like that pop of the blue on the left-hand side. So in just a minute, I'm going to start adhering things down because I don't want them to move. I like the way this is setting up. And as I'm creating, I'm always trying to think of what else I'm going to use. Now, when I did this layout, when I had this layout in mind, I actually took the inspiration from this sticker. This sticker says, "I love autumn." And I think that's, it may be weird to say, you took inspiration from a sticker and it was not the first thing that you had pulled aside to use. Well, I knew I wanted to use it, and what I really liked about it was the colors. The I Love Autumn has a small floral, and I'm not sure how well you can see it on the screen right now, but the floral has little bits of that blue that is in the photo of the yarn, and I felt like I could really stretch my kit by pulling in some of those blues and then working in some of the darker blues that are also in that photo. So here I am just lining up my hole. I punched a circle of that navy Project Life card, and I am working on just lining it up so I can punch a circle to make my own reinforcer. So this is another way that I can bring the navy onto that side of the page, and it also helps to make this tag look like a more complete embellishment, like it is something that I purchased and not something that I made, and I love doing things like that. So I just put some gold and cream twine through the reinforcer. I left it long because I wanted it to kind of squiggle out to the side just like it's doing now. And I love that texture, and it's definitely something that you will see me do quite often. So I've decided that I'm going to just have knitting time as my title. I was thinking first of incorporating some of those rust letters to help with the, bringing in the rust of the fox, but I love the gold, and I felt like the gold would take up more space and it would serve as a better design principle for the page. So knitting time is going to be my title, and I'm just going to nestle that around the fox. I love the way that it just kind of all works together, and it brings the embellishments, the photo, and everything together as one piece. So I wasn't happy with the fact that all of my mixed media was covered up in that left-hand side. So I just sprinkled a little bit more mist, or I sprayed a little bit more mist onto the packaging, and used the packaging technique just to bring it down in that corner as well. I wanted a little bit more of that blue to show. So this is pretty much how the main structure of my layout is going to go. I love this page. It's definitely something that, you know, when you haven't done a technique in a while, and I'll tell you why I haven't done a technique in a while. I just found a new gesso. I can handle the warping of the cardstock, even though I don't like it. I'd rather my page be completely flat. But I couldn't handle the fact that the gesso wasn't completely clear or it didn't match my cardstock, and the warping. Those two things threw my little OCD self off, and I just could not get past it. So that was why you kind of, you know, stopped seeing me do a lot of mixed media backgrounds, because I did not like to be able to see the gesso. Well, I just found this gesso at Michael's that is a clear gesso. I'm going to put the title in because I cannot remember the name. I just bought it on a whim, and man, that stuff is clear. It's not gritty. It is perfect. And that was me testing. I tested it out on this piece of cardstock before I did another project, and just fell in love with it. So you will also see me using it in another layout on this, and I will show you a screenshot of it in, I think it's probably my second or third video for this kit. So that way you can at least put a name to the, you know, the appearance of the gesso. But that has been a game changer for me, because now I feel like I can just live with one thing that was bugging me. Two things just put me over the edge. So these thickers are gorgeous. I love the font. It's a little quirky, but not so much to where I feel like it dates itself. And I love that. I love the way that the title looks. I feel like it takes up a good amount of space, and it brings in that pretty gold. It's just so, so pretty. So the final thing that you will see me do, well, final two things. I'm going to take these rub-ons. I believe they are from One Canoe 2, and they are stars and like constellations. So I'm just going to take them and rub them onto, take the stars and rub them on my background. I was looking for my little rub-on tool. You don't have to have a rub-on tool to rub rub-ons on, but I like this little tool because it just seems to really help. It's got a pointed edge like a pencil, and I'm able to get into those little corners so that they actually look like stars. So after I finish with the rub-ons, I'm going to take the sequins from Spiegel Mom Scraps, and I am going to sprinkle those along the page as well. I'm going to put them in the areas of the mixed media, and that's pretty much it. But I liked the way that the pretty yellow sequins were interspersed with the gold mist droplets and the gold stars for the, you know, from the rub-ons. It just added some pretty dimension and just made for a gorgeous background. So I'm just using my fine line bottle filled with Scotch tacky adhesive. I always want to say quick dry, but that's what it was forever. So I'm just going to glue down the sequins, and somebody asked if I had a problem with my sequins adhering with the Scotch quick dry. So far I haven't, so I'm going to continue to use that since it's working for me. And then the final thing that I'm going to do is, because I wanted to make sure that my twine stayed over to the side, is I'm going to take a little dab of glue, just a little bit, and glue it on that one point. And that way it still looks free. It can move around, you know, it's got movement, but it will still stay up on the page like I wanted it to. So thanks so much for joining me. I have some close-ups at the end, and I will see you guys later. Have a great day. Bye.